So what are you going to do with your life? You're getting older, hun.
I know, and you're right.
You should apply for a state job, hun, with benefits.
We've all been there, right? You're trying so hard to help someone you love, but every single conversation just ends up going in circles. It's so frustrating. Well, today we are going to break down that exact communication trap. We're going to find a way out. So let's dive in.
So, picture this. You see someone you care about really struggling. It could be anything. Their job, their health, maybe they just seem stuck. And you, being the good person you are, you jump in. You offer support, you brainstorm ideas, you lay out this perfect logical plan, and then silence. Or worse, you get a phrase that sounds like they agree, but it just completely shuts everything down.
Yep, there it is, those 4 little words. And at first you think, great, we're on the same page. It feels like they're agreeing with you. But when you hear it over and over and over again and absolutely nothing changes, you start to realize, this isn't a bridge to a solution, it's a wall, a big one, and it's designed to stop the conversation cold.
So what do we do about it? How do we get around this thing? Well, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll define the problem. We're calling it the I know wall. Then we're going to peek behind that wall and see what's really going on. After that, we'll talk about some new rules of engagement and a real practical way to break this cycle. And finally, and this is so important, we'll talk about how to protect your energy through all of this.
All right, let's jump right into part 1. This whole dynamic is just so frustrating. So why? Why does something that sounds like yes feel like a big no? Okay, so here's the big mindset shift you have to make. I know, you're right, has almost nothing to do with agreement or action. It's really just a polite way of saying, I hear you, and I really, really want you to stop talking about this now. It's a total defense mechanism. Think of it like a conversational shield they just throw up.
And the toll this takes on you, it's huge, right? It leaves you feeling completely dismissed, like all your care and all your effort just don't matter. And when that happens again and again, it's easy to start feeling frustrated, even resentful. Nothing changes, and you're left spinning your wheels, feeling like you're the only one trying.
Okay, so we've established it's a wall. But what's that wall made of? What are the bricks? If we actually want to change this dynamic, we've got to get inside their head a little bit and understand the why behind it.
There's actually a name for this, psychologically speaking. It's called passive resistance. It's basically a way to say no without actually saying no. It's how someone can push back against you without ever having to get into a real, honest-to-goodness conflict. So instead of saying what they're really feeling, like, I'm terrified or this is just too much, they just agree to make the conversation and the pressure go away.
So what are those hidden feelings they're trying to avoid? Well, here's the thing. It's probably not about you. It's almost always about what's going on inside their own head.
And this is what's so key to understand. A lot of the time, this behavior isn't coming from a place of laziness or not caring. It's coming from a place of fear. I mean, think about it. They might be absolutely terrified of failing if they actually try. Or maybe the problem just feels so huge, so overwhelming, that doing nothing feels like the only safe option. It could even be something called learned helplessness, where past failures have taught them that trying is pointless. Or, they just might hate conflict so much that agreeing with you is just easier.
Okay, so this is where things start to shift. This is the turning point, because you can't just magically take away their fear. That's their work to do. But what you can do, what you have 100% control over, is how you engage. The whole goal here is to stop banging your head against that wall and instead figure out how to build a door.
And this slide shows that shift perfectly. Just look at the difference. On the left, you've got these problematic questions. Things like, why don't you just? They sound like demands, right? And they immediately put people on the defensive. But now, look at the questions on the right. They're not demands, they're invitations. What's one small thing that feels possible? That just lowers the pressure immensely. I'm here to listen. That's all about connection, not correction. And what kind of support would be helpful? That puts them back in the driver's seat. It gives them a sense of control.
You see the massive difference there? It's all about changing your role. You stop being the fixer and you become a partner, a supporter. You're not trying to force them to climb a whole mountain. You're just asking, hey, can I help you take one tiny step? And that right there can create just enough safety for them to maybe, just maybe open up for real.
Okay, so all this theory is great, but what do you actually do? Like in the moment, when you're in that conversation and you hear those words, I know, you're right. What do you say next? Let's get super practical.
Here it is, a 4-step reset. It's really simple. Step 1, just notice the pattern out loud, but without any blame. Something like, Hey, I noticed that when we talk about this, this is kind of where the conversation usually stops. Step 2, share how you feel. Use an I statement. And honestly, it leaves me feeling a little stuck and worried. See? Not an attack. Step 3, ask one of those good, productive questions we just talked about. And step 4, this one's the toughest for sure. You have to detach from the outcome. Your goal isn't to force them to respond differently. Your goal is just to change your side of the conversation.
In that final step, letting go, brings us to what might be the single most important part of this entire discussion. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about them. It's about you. It's about protecting your own energy and your own peace.
Because here's the absolute truth. You cannot control another person's motivation. You just can't. But you can always control how you engage. Your emotional energy, it's not an infinite resource. It's like a battery. And if you keep pouring it into something you can't control, you're just going to end up drained. The real win here isn't fixing them. The real win is taking your power back by focusing on the one thing you actually can control, you.
So how do you do that? How do you protect your peace? Well, it means setting some real boundaries. Maybe you decide, I'm only going to bring this up once a week, and that's it. It also means you might have to redefine what success looks like. Maybe success isn't about them making a huge change. Maybe success is just maintaining your loving relationship with them through this. And sometimes it means recognizing when it's time to just step back, to let them be on their own journey, knowing you've done what you can in a healthy way.
So, in the end, it all boils down to this one simple question. What can you actually, truly control? Their response or your approach? The moment you shift your focus from their answer to your question, everything changes. You go from feeling frustrated and powerless to feeling empowered. You stop running into that brick wall and you start building your own door to peace of mind.